Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to APX Racing. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Apex Racing for round 10 of Season 4 around Austria, where we can crown a world champion in Ryan Hurren if he outscores Taylor Dewhurst by 8 points. It's going to be a tough ask, especially with it being a sprint race. But this hasn't been updated because we've got slower admins, it seems. So we're at Austria sprint for round 10. Next week we'll head to Mexico for round 11. Then we'll head to Canada for round 12. Then we head to Saudi Arabia for round 13. And then it's Abu Dhabi to end the season. So we could have the championship wrapped up with 4 races to go, which would be pretty convincing. Last week, I wish I could read that. We had Nathan winning the race ahead of Ryan Hurren by 6/10 of a second. Jake Donaldson was promoted to the podium after Brooks got a penalty for a false safety car restart. Verla finished P4. Crossfrog at P5, Tilsey Tomo P7, today Tommy P8, not Nathan, Burks P9, and G-Force P10 to round out the points finishers. Jeffrey Nasty got 13th, Patrick Blogg 14th with a DNF, these are DNFs, Ian Tonzik DNF, Gio and Max Obliterator both disqualified. Gio for being AI, Max for being a useless driver. So, these are the driving standings. Ryan Hurren is leading the way, obviously, and if he outscores Taylor by 8 points today, he will win the championship. It could be done in a sprint, it could not. It depends all on where Taylor finishes. But he does have a 100-point lead going into the final 5 races, which should mean he will win it no matter what. But there is a strong fight for second, I would say, because Tom is only 26 points behind Taylor and on the same amount of points as Gio, who is in 4th. Nathan could look to pull it back, as he did win last week, and hasn't done many races this season. And Nathan is no longer a reserve, he's a full-time driver at Aston Martin. The Constructors' standings. So Sauber lead the way, and it cannot be wrapped up today, the Constructors, which is good. Williams the second, battling with Ferrari and McLaren for that position. RB 5th, Mercedes 6th, and they've had a battle with Alpine all season. Them being on 74, Alpine being on 73, Haas on 68, Red Bull on 60, and Aston Martin at the bottom on 45. You should be watching Aston Martin. They'll start climbing up the table now that they have Nathan as their full-time driver. And we'll ignore the driver lineup because we need to head straight into sprint quali. And the driver lineup's also not updated, so yeah. Let's do this. Jeffrey Nasty, the first one to cross the line. He did a 1:05.0. To currently go P1, but he's the first one to set a lap. The next car to the line will be it'll be Ryan Hurren, as he's on the medium compound tyres. We'll actually get the tyres up. So Ryan on the mediums is a 1:43, 7/10 quicker than Jeffrey Nasty. Tom on the mediums is 1:10.8. He definitely can improve on that, and he might be doing so already as he comes out of turn 1. Getting a slipstream off of Ryan Hurren down into turn 3. Ryan staying on the racing line, which Tom did have to move out of the way, but he is a second up on his lap. Let's see. Pressing all the buttons, it seems. Right. Brooks is in the final sector. Own the game's also in the final sector, so let's round aboard with him in the white Red Bull livery. To the line, Own the game is going to go P2 with a 1:48. Does he own the game? No, because he's not first. Taylor goes 4th with a 1:5 flat. Brooks goes 2nd with a 1:43. 4 1/10 of a second. Brian Horan. Tommy improves and does a 146 to go 3 tenths behind the top two and put himself in third position in sprint qualifying. Sprint qualifying only being 12 minutes. And so you'll see people going out on mediums at the start and maybe going out on softs at the end if they are not happy with their lap time. G-Force goes last with 167 on the soft compound tyres. Patrick has invalidated Minton Moby to the line. He has just started his lap. The Red Bull have owned the game. Is he on another lap? No, he is not. What about Crossfrog? As he goes through the middle sector, it looks like he's pushing limits. But he is going to pull to the right and head into the pit lane. Now, I think the rule here is that you have to stick to the right when you're going into the pit lane to make sure you don't crash with people and everyone knows what you're doing. Just like on the road, you're meant to tell people what you're doing before you do the thing. Ryan Horan, 2 tenths up through the middle sector. He's going to come through the final couple of corners now. Definitely not pulling into the pit lane, is what I can say. He might put himself into one of the threes on these medium compound tyres as he does go to the line. And he's going to only improve by 3/100ths of a second and sets a 104.2. So he's in the 104.2s now. Patrick to the line is going to start his second lap after invalidating his first. But Minty Moby is on track and in the final sector to set his first flying lap. Stan, Vela, Tomo, Patrick and Nathan are all waiting until later on in the session to do their lap times, as Minty Moby is going to head to the line and do a 1:19.1, and he will probably go again right now. This could be his practice and he's just put loads of fuel in so they can push from qualifying onwards. But Patrick through the double left-hander now. 5 minutes to go in the session. We'll expect drivers to start going out around the 2:30 mark. That is usually the same at every track. He's on a 46.1 for the middle sector combined with sector 1, so that's probably around 20 seconds, 22 seconds in the middle sector as he now goes through the final couple of corners and loses it and is in the barrier. Luckily for him, he hit on the rear and now he's going to cut across the lines and head into the pit lane. That is illegal, and if someone wants to report him, they probably will. Because, yes. Stan is on an out lap, but Minton Moby is on a flying lap. And he's 11 seconds up on his lap, so he's still going to go last with this. But he surely has time in the final corner. Minton Moby to the line and goes ahead of G-Force with 1:55 and goes 8th overall. Stan on an out lap, Stan lagging back. I don't know if that was me, probably. Tilted Tomer is going to start his first flying lap though. Jeffrey Nasty's also on a lap ahead. Jeffrey Nasty 1/10 of a second up. He's decided to stay on the medium tyres, or did he change? Because that is 0 laps, unless he's changed to the other set of mediums, which I wouldn't do because you'll wear them and you might want to save them for the race. So he does go through the right-hander where you see a lot of Mercedes and Red Bull crashing, especially if it's Albon and Hamilton. As we now head into the double left-hander where the Bull is on the inside of both. Through the first and through the second left, you can carry a lot of speed through these corners. Then you want to floor it through the right. Down into the final couple of corners now. You want to improve probably by a few tenths, and he also bolts it into the pits. Probably to go put a set of softs on, but that was illegal. Tilted Bala is on a out lap, but Tilted Tomo has invalidated his lap time. Minton Moby has invalidated his, so the next one's quick line is Stan, and he did a 16.4 in the first sector. Through the right-hander now, down into the left. Stan's first flying lap. And we'll be able to see if he's up to pace straight away after missing last week. He's going to head into the two right-handers. It's very right-hander friendly. There's only 2 corners that are left-handers, 3 corners that are left-handers, which is not very common. But Stan does a 1:57 and goes P9 behind Minton Moby ahead of G-Force. tilted Valer and Tomo are both on laps. Valer will be the first one, and according to the game, he's going to purpose sector 2, but we all know that's a lie because it just is. The game doesn't like telling you true things. As he goes through the final corner now, he's going to cut the inside, opens the DRS, and goes P7 with a 151 ahead of the kick salvage bit of Crossfrog. Tilted Tomo goes P4 with 148, 2/10 of a second behind Tommy, and that'll be his flying lap, unless he has enough ERS to push again. Mercedes Patrick Balog, BPA, who is on an outlap. Ryan Hurren on an outlap as well, and he'll be starting his first flying lap. He might have enough fuel in it, so if he does make a mistake, he can go again because he does have 1 minute 40 as he crosses the line. That's the one Mercedes. Brooks is starting his flying lap. Tommy is not, which must mean that Stan going to the line to start another flying lap for the Polishman. Crossfrog also starting his lap. Starting his lap, and his teammate of G-Force is going to finish his lap. He's 8 up. Crossfrog has binned it on the exit of turn 1, so 1-6 flat for G-Force, and Crossfrog is out of the session, so he could be dropping out the top 10 here and be starting outside the top 10 in the sprint race. Tom is going to the line. So let's go on board with Patrick Bullock for his one and only lap as he goes to the line. And he is going to set a 1-6 flat, but invalidated on the final last couple of corners, so he will not have a lap time going into the next session. Minty Moby starts his flying lap. Ryan Hurren is going to come to the line, and he did slow down, like I said, so he is going to go again. That isn't Tom. Where's his teammate? Stan. Stan did improve by 4/10 and went to P10. What's Brooks doing as he goes to the line? He doesn't improve, so he will go again. Nathan's coming to the line to start his flying lap. G-Force slowed down to let his teammate pass and is entering the pits, so Taylor Dewhurst is the next one to cross the line. He only goes third in the championship fight, so he's got to hope Tommy doesn't improve, but Tom is 0.3 of a second up on his lap, which would currently put him in the fight for pole. As he goes to the line, he's going to go pole, provisional pole, 1-4-2 for the Williams driver. Ryan, if he is up, he's only up by a tiny margin, and he needs around about half a tenth here, as he's going to come round the final corner, and he's going to go to the line. What will he set? So 1-4 flat, so he improved a lot in the final sector, but can Brooks dismount him from pole position here? Brooks is the last one to cross the line. To the line, he is not. He lost 1/10 in the final sector, and by a mere margin will miss out on pole position. But Ryan starting on pole in the total decider. Taylor, P4. Not good enough for the Ferrari to keep. It would be a 4-point gain if the race results stayed like this, and that means Ryan would only need to finish 4 points ahead of Taylor in the main race, which, based on season form, is not going to be that hard. Stan enters the pit lane. That's qualifying over, so Ryan Hurren on pole, Brooks alongside him on the front row for the sprint race. Don't forget, in the sprint race, only the top 8 score points. The only DNF was the crash from Crossrock, and the race will be 12 laps long. Will we get rain? Maybe. We have double the chance of rain because of the 2 extra sessions, but we didn't get rain in sprint qualifying. Let me just check. So Ryan Hurren is on pole position, the kick salva driver. And so Nathan and Patrick, the only ones not to set a lap time. So Nathan will be hoping to fight from through the field. G-Force 12th, Stan 11th, Minted Moby 10th, Crossroad 9th, DNF at turn 1 on his final run. Bella 8th, Jeffrey Nasty P7, Tilda Thomas P6, Undergame P5, Taylor P4, Tom P3, Brooks P2, and Brian Horan on pole for the sprint race. Well, that was sprint qualifying. Next up is the sprint race. The pre-race announcement message thing said no heroics into turn 3. It said nothing about turn 1, so I want carnage. Absolute carnage in turn 1 is what I want. And we can have a look. It looks like it's going to be the mediums for all the drivers here. And there is no rain, at least at the start of this session. So we're going to wait for the lights to commence. And Brian Horan's going to win this race. And we're going to see Tom P2 and Brooks P3, Nathan P4 is my top 4 prediction. And I think the championship will be won by Ryan in this sprint race. I don't think Taylor's going to finish in the points. That's me hoping I'll jinx Ryan. It's a long way. Are you having mistakes? Where? Don't know why that went off. There was no one entering the pits. Surely we're getting going soon. And it's not like you've got much doing this front race. You've just got to. There we go. As we're going to head to 5 at red lights for the sprint race. Ryan Horan on pole. Brooks alongside him. It's lights out and away we go. Ryan Horan with a decent start. Into turn 1. It's going to stay ahead. The Haz at the back. Going down the inside. 3 wide at the back. That doesn't look like it's going to end well. And it hasn't ended well. Cars off the track. As we're going to head into turn 3. More overtakes happening at the back. Oh, the game. He's trying to fight his way back and he's hit Tom out the way. And that promotes Jeff Nasty up into P4. Fighting Tilted Tom. Tom alongside Bella. Down into turn 4. It's going to go down the inside. Will he? Yes, he will. And Tom's going to get forced to track. Going into the back of everyone here. What the hell is happening? Nathan up into P9. And Tom, I don't even know what happened there, but looked like he got slowed down and people just started driving into the back of him. Valet overtaken by Tom now. And Nathan's going to look to go down the inside, but he got into Moby. Trying to go round the outside. And there's a battle between Valor and Moby now. And Valor backs out. So I think Valor might have damage. He goes to the front end plate and he's going off at every single corner. Taylor up into Fed. Trying to keep his championship hopes alive. Ryan Horan, will he be at risk with the DRS? Both the Mercedes and the Ferrari going off track there. Maybe it's a warning for both of them. But Brooks, will he go down the inside the Mercedes driver? No, he's going to wait and use the DRS down into turn 4 with his ERS. Moves at the back, Tilted Thomas into P4, Jeffrey Nasty P5. But Ryan Horan and Brooks is going to stay behind. As Valer is losing even more positions here. G-Force going down the inside, but Valer's going to look to make the move back. He's trying to go around the outside, but with the damage that's not going to happen. And G-Force is up into P10. Tilted Thomas 7/10 behind Taylor Dewhurst here. Taylor's dropping off to the top 2. He's not the worst race so far. Tom is right on the back of Nat and Den Hartog. It's a penalty already for Jeffrey Nasty, and it's only been 2 laps. As Ryan Horan and Brooks, they battle. They might crash, and that's what Taylor will be hoping for. the Ferrari driver. 4 tenths back. He's gaining and gaining and gaining. He's going to stay behind again and hope Brian gets a bad exit. She gets an alright exit, but Brooks got a better one. And now 3 tenths is the margin. Down into turn 4. Will he go around the outside? No, he's going to go down the inside. And the front two are battling here. Ryan Hurren on the outside. Now turning into the inside, which means Brooks is on the outside. Brooks round the outside. Can he get the move done on the kick Sauber? They're still side by side, and it looks like Ryan Hurren's going to try and stay ahead. But what an overtake around the outside by Brooks. But Ryan Hurren hasn't backed out yet. Into the penultimate corner. Ryan Hurren gets back ahead. And now Brooks is closer than the last lap with the DRS. He's going to open it up. While that was all happening today, Tommy got past Nathan and Hartog and he's up into P6. But Brooks closer than what he was on the last lap. Taylor has gained 6 tenths because of it, because of this battling. And now Ryan Hurren's going to back out just so you can get the DRS. Or is he going to try and stay around the outside? No, he's not. He is going to back out and he's going to look for the switch back. Better exit for Brooks, but the DRS is open and Ryan Hurren's going to look to go down the inside probably. But Brooks is defending it. And Brooks stays ahead. Tomo 3 tenths back from Taylor. Taylor is under pressure from the Aston Martin driver. If Nathan and Tomo can finish as high as possible, that will help the constructors. But Ryan Hurren still behind Brooks, going on to lap 5. Tomo 5 tenths back from Taylor. Ryan Hurren is going to open up the DRS down the main straight. And in turn 1, he should get the move done into turn 3. As he opens up the DRS, uses his DRS, he's already going to be a pass before the corner even happens. But Brooks won't mind, he can stay behind and use the DRS on the next straight. Good exit for Brooks. Has the DRS, but Ryan got an even better exit. It's now 5 tenths ahead. Taylor is within the 1 second of the top 2 now. So this fighting is helping Taylor in this race. Jeffrey Nasty is holding up Nathan Den Haag talking today, Tommy. Vela with a 3 second, I saw 10 in his name, so 3 second time penalty has spanned at turn 3 and returns to the track safely. As Ryan Hurren is 5 tenths ahead of Brooks. Brooks is going to try and gain into turn 1. And needs to get a better exit, but he doesn't. And Valor has spun again. And has reset the track this time. So not good by the McLaren driver. Patrick with a 3 second time penalty, and Nathan Den Haag has got past Jeffrey Nasty. So now Tom needs to get past as quick as possible. So Tom are 3 tenths back. 4 tenths back from Taylor Dewhurst. Jeffrey Nasty. Just going to try and stay with Nathan, but he has damage, which I think I can suspect he does. He will not be able to stick with him. As Villa has retained it in the pit lane. Crossfrog and Patrick are side by side, which is helping to earn the game. Early game's going to go around the outside of Crossfrog. Never mind, he's going to stay behind. The kick Salver. Right, Hurren is eking out a gap here. Taylor's dropped out at the 1 second again. So this will help Tilted Tomo try and get into the podium positions for the sprint race. We are on lap 7 of 12. Got an 80-minute qualifying to follow and a 36-minute race. Today, Tommy is now going to try and make a move on Jeffrey Nasty with the DRS down to turn 4. Is Tomo going to look to make a move on Taylor? He is. Down the inside. Taylor backs out, thinking about the championship. Or has he just gone for the switch back? He has just gone for the switch back, and he's now going to be around the outside for the left-hander. And the Aston Martin driver has to cede the position. So Taylor stays behind for at least one more lap, but with the DRS, it might not be able to keep it up for another lap. As Tommy needs to be around 3 things back into turn 1. Be able to get any benefit and try and get the move done into turn 3. Lap 8 here now, and there's a train forming behind Patrick Borlog. There's a battle between Stan and Murby. Tom has got the 310. There's been a crash between Patrick and Erna, getting them both out of the session. Tilted Tom down the inside. Taylor's going to go for the switch back again, and Taylor will have the DRS. Taylor will have the DRS. Down the inside into turn 4, so should stay ahead and will stay ahead for another lap. But other game and Patrick look like they might have crashed at the final corner. Can't say I'm surprised, as Tommy did get ahead of Jeffrey Nasty whilst was covering the Taylor and Tomo battle, and Stan and Minty Moby are making contact. Stan gets ahead with a little bit of a push. Crossfrog into the barrier, but is away again. And Brian Horan is trying to pull the 1 second gap on Brooks, but can't do so yet. Can Tomo get past Taylor on this occasion? He might be more at risk to his teammate, and if he was smart, he would cede the position to his teammate and let his teammate fight, which he will. As Nathan is now going to look to attack Tails. I'm disconnected. But at least we get coverage for the main race. Right, hopefully the stream's back, but I've just got context of what happened in the laps I missed. And apparently Brooks spun and DNF'd off the final corner. I don't know why I was turning Irish. Off the final corner, and Taylor is getting the move done on Nathan, but he does have a 3 second time penalty. So that is not good for him. But he's going to try and stay ahead, and Nathan gets a 3 second on the exit of the corner, but he will try to get that removed. As Brian Huron has done everything he needs to do in this sprint race, he'll be hoping to replicate this in the main race, as he is going to head across the line and win the sprint race. Taylor will come home P2. Tilted Tomo actually will take P2. Tom P3. So Ryan's done half the job and got half the points he needs. Just needs another 4 points gain in the main race. Nathan P5, Jeffrey Nasty P6, Stan P7, Mitsumo P8, and GeForce, the only person that finished and will not receive points. So I will go get a bottle of water and I'll be back. Right, we've got a bottle of water and now in qualifying for this, for the main race, and no one is out on track just yet. Someone is heading out on track though. And the first car will be a V car of Jeffrey Nasty. Hold on. He is going to be the first one to set it lap. Okay, let's see. Jeffrey Nasty on an outlap. Brooks is headed out, hopefully to redeem himself from what happened. In the sprint race, Jeffrey Nasty will go to the line now. And heading into turn 1. Opens the DRS, using some ERS up the hill. Into turn 3. With a pub set to 1, because obviously he's the first one to be out on track. Which Jeffrey Nasty is going to head into turn 4 now. Through the double left-hander. And into the double right-hander. The penultimate corner and the final corner. As he will now head to the line. Jeffrey Nasty goes first with a 1.5 flat because he was the first one on track. I'm dropping everything right now on my floor. It's only a bit of water. Brooks will be next one to cross the line, but he looks like he's backed out. If that is him, the final corner, let me have a look. Yeah, he's backed out and entered the pit lane. And Patrick, the next one to cross the line. Into the final corner he goes, and he invalidates, and that will be it at this and next lap invalidation for the Mercedes driver. The McLaren Valet is on an outlap. So is Jeffrey Nasty is on an inlap. Crossfrog is on a outlap. And I think Patrick got this in next lap. Yes, he did. And he's on the medium tyres. I wonder if anyone else is on tyres. Medium, just for Patrick. But Jeffrey, we've already been 5 minutes so far gone in the session. He's the only one who has set a lap time. Let's go on board with Valer. He'll be the next one to cross the line that is on a flying lap through the right-hander. And he's going to maybe get a bit of dirty air from the Williams ahead. Williams should get out of the way, which he does on the inside. And in the chrome McLaren liveried car. Into the double right. He will come to the line and will do a 1.52 the McLaren driver, and is 2 tenths off of Jeffrey Nasty. Stan is on an outlap. There is the Aston Martin Otomo. Crossfrog has invalidated his lap. Ryan's on an outlap. So Patrick is on a pit. Brooks is on an outlap. Murby is on an outlap. So Stan's the next one to cross the line, and he has just got to the end of sector 1. Didn't see what the sector time was, but can't be that bad. He heads through the right-hander. He'll be hoping to put himself ahead of the other two drivers that have set lap times. Now that he's got used to the game again a bit, he should be going a little bit quicker. You could see by him getting points in the sprint race that was improving. Sorry. I missed Tom coming to the line. He did a 1:44 in the Williams. Stan is now coming to the line, and he will go behind him with a 1:48, 4 tenths off his teammate. But Tom is currently P1. Tom went third with a 1:5 flat. So Ryan Hurren is the next one to cross the line. Will he be able to put his car on pole, on provisional pole, with 10 minutes to go in the session? Yes, he will, by 5 tenths now. Was 6? No. Was 7. But Ryan now. Brooks went P2 with 1:42. My head is lost. The Ferrari of Taylor is coming through the final corner now to start his final lap. And Stan is going to enter the pit lane. So will the Aston Martin behind. Which means Ryan is not on a lap, obviously. Brooks will not be on a lap. Moby, is he on a lap? No. Taylor is on a lap though. So we'll go on board with one of the championship contenders. He needs to not be outscored by Ryan Hurren, which basically means beat Ryan Hurren. If Ryan finishes second, Taylor finishes third, Ryan's basically won the championship because 1 point's difference. Ryan going to DNF the inside rest of the season. I know he's bad, but he isn't that bad. As Taylor invalidates, and that's not good for him. He's giving the champion. He's gifting it to Ryan right now. Him easily, even though Ryan's basically won it. Don't want to put him to a fight. It wasn't until the next lap, so he can go again straight away, which is what he's going to do. But the game's going to head to the line to start his flying lap, or he was until he invalidated out the final corner. G-Force is going to start his flying lap. Patrick is on an outlap, so we can just stay on board with Taylor Dewhurst, who has invalidated on the exit turn 1 again. Taylor, stop bustling it, please. On the game has also invalidated. It's not that hard to keep on track. Jeffrey Nasty on that lap. I can't say anything. Weekend I got 15 seconds of penalties. I can't say anything. I'll keep it on track. On the game invalidated. G-Force not invalidated. Whoa, someone who's not invalidated. G-Force in sector 2 now. Then heading to sector 3. Did a 45.9 combined. Sector 2. He's going to head through the final couple of corners to the line. What will he do? 1:59 to go 9th. The game will go again, or at least he hopes he will go again. Without invalidating this time would be good. Taylor in the pit lane. Jeffrey Nasty is also on a flying lap with 7 minutes to go in the session. Patrick is also on a lap, and he invalidates. We'll be going again. So let's go on board with Jeffrey Nasty. Yep, set 2 apparently. I don't believe that for a second. He only needs a couple of attempts here, and he'll put himself 2 positions up and up into 4 through the final corner. Heads to the line and goes 5th, 148. Oh, the game has crashed on the final corner, so he will not be setting a lap in the session. Patrick is now in sector 3. And he is only one of 2 cars on track at the moment. He's going to head around the final corner now. And he's going to go off track and invalidate. Oh my god. And will be invalidated for this lap as well, so he will hit into this lap, hopefully. And Jeffrey Nass is on an in lap. So, I'm just going to wait for people to come out on track with around 2 minutes to go in the session. As there is a puddle of water on my skinny. So whilst we're waiting for this, I'm going to get a bit of tissue and clean up the mess I've made. Oh, my roof gets. There we go. And I was on board with Moby, it seems. And he's on an outlap now, which is good. What a neat coincidence. The Quinky Dink. 4 minutes expected to go in a session. And Moby will be the first one to do his final lap. Vince Moby on the exit of turn 3 now is on his flying lap. Crossfrog, one of the 4 people who's still in the session not to settle up. So he will be starting his soon. Jeffrey Nasty will be starting his final flying lap soon as well. But first we've got Moby, who is 2 and a bit tenths up, which could put him up into P5 or P4 if he gets a bit more, which would be a 3 position gain. As he heads into the final corner, to the line, and sets the 1-5 flat. The harsh driver does. Jeffrey Nasty will be the next one to cross the line. Oh no, what? It'll be Crossfrog. As he's going to head into the final sector. and this will be his one and only lap for the kick Sauber driver. Into the final corner. To the line. And it's a 1:05.3 for the Sauber driver and into P9. So far in qualifying, Jeffrey Nasty is going to improve by that margin and go up into P4. Brooks is on an out lap. Tom is heading out now. Stan is on an out lap. Brian Huron is on an out lap. Taylor, currently last, is on an out lap. Nathan's going to start from the back of the grid again. Is Crossroad on another lap, or is Crossroad backed out? Crossroad has backed out. Jeffrey Nasty thinks on another lap. He's going to head into the first left-hander. I guess we'll see. Is he? Maybe not, actually. Nah, he isn't. I don't know how I didn't know that. Brooks is though, but Brooks isn't up by that much and he's going to back out. I don't know where the hell he's going. Oh, he's taking an excursion here. Bloody hell. Patrick is on an out lap. Brian Huron is on a lap. Crossfrog's starting another lap. So Stan is invalidated. Tom's going to start his lap. The Aston Martin, Phil Thomas going to start his lap. Then Karen and Fowler is going to start his lap. G-Force going to start his lap. So Taylor will be the first one to cross the line after Patrick does. No, after Brooks does. Brooks invalidated this next lap, so he's qualifying his over and he won't be getting pole. Taylor invalidates in the final corner and then tries to bid it in the wall because he did do a stupid there, and will start from the back of the grid, the championship leader. And does now straight line the wall. I don't think that's an issue in qualifying. It is an issue in the race, but qualifying, who cares? Doesn't cause anything. Patrick will now be the first one to cross the line. So, championship leader will be starting from the back of, not the championship leader, championship contender will be starting from the back of the grid. Patrick round the final corner and he crashes and has lost all of his time. So that is Patrick done. So Crossfrog hasn't changed. Patrick's stayed on track. He shouldn't have done that because his AI will be there. Thomas on the line, P7. Valor went P4, 145. G-Force 10. Where's Ryan Huron? Ryan Huron is down by a tiny bit at sector 2. Brooks, Tommy, and Stan all pit. There's a slide there for Ryan, but he might gain a bit still. No, he will not gain. And that is Ryan Huron on pause. However, only game Patrick, Nathan, and Taylor not getting laps done. Taylor invalidated on the final corner, so never got a lap. And so only the top 10 set lap times. Ryan Huron on pole alongside Brooks with Tommy in third, just like it was in sprint qualifying. Will the race be like the sprint race? Hopefully, because that was pretty fun. So we just got to wait for Stan's car to be rolled in, and then we'll head into the results screen. But Ryan is on pole again. Ryan on pole, Brooks second, Tom third, Valor fourth, Jeffrey Nasty fifth, Stan sixth, Thomas seventh, Moby eighth, Crossfrog ninth, G-Force 10th, Only Game 11th, Patrick 12th, Nathan 13th, and Taylor 14th. And next we head into the race. Are any of these sessions wet, or are we not getting any weather? Good weather from the weather gods. Nope, no rain at the start at least, but it does look a bit cloudy. So could get something. Let's have a look at tyres, mediums and hards, switch across the grid. No, I'm going for softs. So Taylor's got to have a good race here. Ryan can win the championship. If he just wins the race, that's all he has to do, is just win the race. Or, well, win the race would be the easiest way. All he has to do is basically finish 4 points ahead of Taylor, which in most cases is 2 positions ahead, which ain't going to be easy if Taylor has a good comeback race. So we're just going to wait for the 5 red lights. The Austria Grand Prix. So we are going to wait for this to happen. As we have 5 red lights here in Austria. And it's lights out, and away we go. Ryan Hurren, where to start. Then Brooks down into turn 1, but stays ahead. Tommy's going to look for it around the outside, but does back out. Does McLaren getting overtaken and getting absolutely swamped here, Bella. Jeffrey Nasty up in 7th. And the game has dropped to last. Taylor just needs to keep his nose clean at the back of the grid. But he does also need to gain positions. It's Bella. He's getting absolutely swamped. I don't know what it is with his race pace, but he does lose a lot of positions at the start. It is 3 wide behind with the Ferrari. Stan's going for it on Jeffrey Nasty, and Jeffrey Nasty gets forced wide. So Jeffrey Nasty loses 3 positions because of it, but will try to stay ahead of one of them. So Stan ahead of Moby, ahead of Tomo, ahead of Jeffrey Nasty. At the back, Taylor's up into 11th already, battling with Patrick, and now next up for him, he just needs to follow Nathan through and he'll get to the top of the grid really quick. Brooks, 5/10 off Brian, needs to not crash in the final corner like he did in the sprint race. On lap 2 already of this race. Patrick getting overtaken by Own the Game. Nathan 3/10 back, and there's cars going off here. Jeffrey Nasty is going to go for it. Round the outside of Vela instead of down the inside. Oh no, wait, he'll get back out, but Nathan sends it down the inside. Crossfox follows, and it's now a 3-way battle down in 10-4. Tomo gets past Moby. And Nathan going to go down the inside of Jeffrey Nasty. At the same place that Stan got past Jeffrey Nasty, so Jeffrey Nasty's dropped all the way to 9th. But Ryan's leading the way. Ahead of Brooks by, oh, he's pulling the gap to Try and get it above a second, but with the DRS that's going to be hard to do. As long as you have DRS, you should be safe. Jeffrey Nasty. He's hella close to Nathan Den Hartog, but should not go for it into turn 1. Turn 1 is not an overtaking zone. He does pull out, but you're never going to make the move there. Never in a million years. Brooks. He's close. He's going to send it down the inside. Hits Ryan. Stays in second. No, he doesn't. Tom gets the overtake done. Ryan lost a bit of time, but didn't lose him the position. And he stays in P1. Nathan has overtaken Vela and is up into 7th. Brooks is trying to stay with the top 3. Tomo has dropped off to top 3 and stands only 4 tenths off of him. Taylor's lost a position to Crossrock, and I don't know how, but he'll be looking to get that back. As well as gone off track there. Jeff Nasty should be able to get the move done on him. But will there be any overtakes into turn 3? Tom 5 tenths back. It looks like it might be an overtake for Brooks. Down into turn 3. He's 10 off his ERS, so he will stay behind. It's a 3-way battle. It's going to be 4 wide. Almost. Now 3 wide. And this will end well. Stan's getting pushed off into the heart under. What a move by Nathan Den Hartog. Down the inside in turn 3. And it gets past the 3 of them. And he's up into P. No, he don't. He gets past 2 of them. He's up into 5th. Next up is his teammate, which should be an easy overtake. Stan dropped down to P6. And there's a crash at the back for Own the Game. And he is in the wall. And we'll get going again. Taylor. He's trying to get the move done on the crossrock, but can't. Top 3 remains the same, but just with the gap pulling. Nathan, will he go for it down the inside? His teammate should just let him have the position here, and he does. And Nathan is up into P4. Tomo P5. Stan 2 tenths back from him, who is 2 tenths ahead of Moby. This is very close for top 4. Very close to top 3. Very close for everything here. It's a good race so far. Moby gets a bad exit, and that's a spin for Jeffrey Nasty on the exit of turn 1. And Taylor's up it into the points positions, but not by enough, and we'll try and go for it around the outside of Crossrock. He could try and get the switch back done, but instead he's just going to wait and use the DRS, which Crossrock will also have on Bala. And will Crossrock go for it on Bala? Or will it just be Taylor going for it on Crossrock? He's going to defend the inside. And I don't know why he's defending like this, because it's Taylor and Brian's his teammate. So he's trying to keep him behind for as long as possible. But Taylor's going to go down the inside. He needs to defend cleanly if he's going to do this. It's been clean so far. He stayed ahead, Crossrock. Fair play. But Taylor going to go for it down the inside again. And gets the overtake done finally on the Salvet and should now pull away. Brooks. It's 3 tenths back from Tom. And Tom is 3 tenths back from Brian. Crossrock with a 3-second time penalty. Taylor's got past Valley here, so he's making good progress. Can Tom trying to make a move on the Ryan Hurren? Down into turn 4. No, he can't. He'll stay behind for another lap. Thomas sticking with Nathan for at least another lap. Taylor's gaining on top 4. We'll be looking to get into this train at a minimum. On lap 6 of 36 here. Brian Hurren's leading the way, ahead of Tom, ahead of Brooks, and Brooks is out of the 1 second gap, but will he have the DRS into turn 1? No is the answer to that, but he will have it into turn 3 because he gained back into the 1 second somehow. Now he opens the DRS. And if you use the ERS to make sure he doesn't get pulled out of it, and he could well do that, haven't he? But no, you'll stay within the 1 second gap. Stan really look to go for it on the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin defends nicely. Stan is 5 tenths back. Cross frog. Tries to get the move on Villa. Villa's gonna try and switch back to the Sauber driver, but cannot do that successfully, even with the DRS. Brooks has pulled it back into the gap. Taylor 8th. 7 tenths off Moby, who is not within 1 second of anyone. G-Force in the pit lane will be repairing his wing, maybe. It's now out of the pits. Taylor should get this easily done in turn 3. Shouldn't go for it in turn 1. Which he's not going to do. Now, into turn 3, we'll go for it. But Brooks is also going for it on Tom and gets down the inside. And there's a bit of fighting on the exit, which is going to help Ryan pull a 1 second gap here. Brooks isn't ahead of Tom. It looked like they just lagged back there, but I think there was just contact instead. Stan 6 tenths back. Taylor gets past Moby. Stan really looking for it on the Aston Martin. Nathan is catching to top 3. And Brooks has lost a 1 second gap. At least for now. And is back within it by 1,000. He should have DRS by. But he might not have DRS. Stan is going for it down inside the Aston Martin and gets the move done, but just go off the track on the exit, which will be a warning for him. Didn't have the DRS. Tomo gets back on Stan. Stan was had a snap on the exit. And he's dropped down to P8. Patrick in the pit lane. Taylor's in 6th. Will he look for it? And will he get it done on the Aston? Down the inside. Will have the DRS for the next straight if he needs it, which he will. He's going to have the DRS open. Gets a tiny snap. I don't know what the Haas was doing there. Maybe he was looking at his phone like he was last week. But Stan does get past him because of it. Taylor is 2 tenths back from Tomo. Tom 3 tenths back from Brooks, and Brooks will not have the DRS. So this is a good position for Tom to get back into 2nd. However, it might be a task to catch back up to Ryan, and Ryan's doing everything perfect as he goes into lap 10, and Brooks actually enters the pit, so it's just give Tom 3 DRS and will enter the pit lane. What tyres will he go for? Nathan also into the pit lane. Ryan, I think, is committing to a 1 stop. I think Brooks is committed to a 2 stop now. So he puts on the hard tyres. Oh no, it's Inters. It's raining. What? I didn't notice it was raining. I should have checked what G-Force and Patrick bit onto, but it is now raining, and Brooks and Nathan have both opted early for the intermediates. I think it's a bit too early for now, but we'll see what happens. This has just spiced up the race a bit. Tomo and Taylor both fighting. Taylor is going to go for it down the inside, and this will be an easy overtake, and gets it done before the braking zone even happens. Oh, but Justin's gone for it back down the inside, and now cuts off Stan. Stan's boxed in. Stan stays behind. Taylor down the inside, gets moved on, and Stan is going to go through on the both of them. He's going to try and stay down the inside of Taylor. There's contact made. Stan almost spins. He stays straight. And the Aston Martin gets back past him. Will Moby also get past? No, he will not. And are any drivers pitting? Top 2 out. Top 3 out. Top 4 out. Top 5. Moby's gone off track. And the Valor has decided to pit. Let's go to the gap to the leader. Are they catching the leader? It's a crucial question. The people on the intermediate tyres. If they are, it was a bad call. If they are, it was a great call. It does look like now I do see spots on the track, and it will be time for the intermediates. So this could mean Brooks would jump into the lead of this race. Early game stays out, and I don't know why he did, but Brian Hurren should enter the pits on this lap. Stan gets the move done on Minton Moby, tails up into third, and there's a yellow flag. And it's a crash for Brooks. But the Inters are still quicker, and this might... Oh, there's a safety car. Brooks is just straight on the wall, I think. And he's caused a safety car. I don't know why he's done that. But if your own race is ruined, yeah, let's just ruin another race for someone else. I agree with what he's just done there. I agree totally. It's just absolutely helped Ryan and not helped Nathan. However, it does help Taylor. As Taylor will now enter the pits and put on the intermediates. We're like 12 and 36, so we're 1/3 of the way through the race. And will Taylor get out ahead of Nathan Den Hartog? No, Nathan Den Hartog is already up past turn 1. Didn't even realise. Brian is caught up to safety car, and everyone is now on the correct tyres, except from early game, who's gone to the hard. So he's going to have to pit again. As I'm just going to check something real quick. Just straight on the wall. That's something stupid from him. I don't know why he's done that. But Ryan is leading the way. Tom second, Nathan third, Taylor fourth, Mitsunobu fifth. City will stay out because G-Force needs to catch back up. Only game did pit for another set of inters. Sorry. Just gonna wait for the two cars to catch up, but I think it will be in this lap anyways. And just does a bit of desync there. I don't know what happened. What happened? And the safety car will be in this lap. So Ryan will lead the way ahead of Tom. And there will be no DRS, I don't think. I think DRS might have been disabled, but I guess we'll see after the second lap. And it's a 10-second time limit for Patrick for a collision with Baylor. So that's not good for the Mercedes. And with 21 more laps to go, Ryan Hurren will lead us away. So we are just going to wait for him to go, and he has decided to go now. So Ryan Hurren's got a good jump on Patrick, on Tom. I don't know what's happened at the back. Patrick's into the pits and he's spending the pits. But just going to retire, yeah, he does. That's why everyone overtook him. But it's a 1 second gap already, almost. Ryan must have got a terrible exit and just yeeted it into the corner. Is Tom going to send it down the inside? No, he's not. Nassan's going to stay third. Minton will be right on the back of Taylor, and it was so as hell through there that everyone just backed up, and Moby's going for it on Taylor Dewhurst. Taylor's going to stay around the outside, but cannot stick it around the outside. And we'll wait. And we'll not wait, but we'll lose position. Stan drops behind Jeffrey Nasty, down into 8th. He's sliding through these corners. Brian Hurren leading the way. Tom second. Nathan third. It's maybe 2 tenths off of Nathan. Must just be quick in the wet. What the hell? Spill's off into the barriers. And Mitsumobi is down the inside of the Aston Martin. Gets a slide on exit. And the Aston Martin should get back past, but they're going to be side by side into turn 1. Moby backs out. No, Moby stays ahead. No, Moby backs out, that's the one Aston Martin. And now Taylor's back up into 4th, and we'll be looking to make a move on Nathan Den Hartog into turn 3. I'm just going to brake late and try and go down the inside. That will not work, and he's now got to defend to Tilted Tomo, who's got a better exit than him. But Moby's got a better exit than Taylor. 2 tenths back into turn 4. Will not go for it, so Taylor's up into 4th. Stan up into 7th as he gets past Jeffrey Nasty into turn 4. Ryan's pulled the 1 second gap he needed, and Taylor's going down the inside. They're still battling with Moby. Moby's going to try and round the outside. He's just going to try and get the position from him. He does do it here. That's a great move. He's sliding all over the place. He's got a 3 second for putting the track there, and does get ahead of Taylor in the process. So Moby up into 4th, but with a 3 second time penalty. There is no DRS, so Nathan's got to rely on his ERS and exit speeds. He's going to head on to the 2nd straight. Will he try to make the move on Tom? He's going to go down the inside. Brake late. Tom's just going to let him go past, and Nathan's up into P2, and we'll look to try and gain onto Brian Hurren. And Moby, will he be looking to make the move on Tom soon? He wasn't having around when trying to overtake Taylor, so he might try and overtake Minty Moby might try and overtake Tom as soon as possible. Stan is 4 tenths back from Tomo. 7th place. Tom's going to fall 1 second out of the Aston Martin's range. So, I don't think Tom's that good in the rain. Not going to lie. Minty now got 2 tenths. He needs to get past Tom. He's going to get in the slipstream. Tomo's going to look for it on Taylor. Surely not into turn 1. No, he's going to stay behind. And is Moby going to try and go for it on today, Tommy? Murray's going to stay behind, and Taylor's going to stay ahead of Tomo. At least for that corner. We want to stay ahead for the rest of the race, probably. As Vela and G-Force are fighting, Vela gets ahead. But Tom is falling off here. And him holding up the rest of the pack helps Ryan Hurren pull a gap there. And with 18 laps left to go halfway through the race, it's raining in Spielberg. That was a good by Moby there. He's going to lose a bit of time. It's going to help Taylor close in a bit there. Into Moby. Down the main straight. We'll try and maybe go for it on the Williams into turn 3 this time. It's a great corner. His exits are so weird though. He always cuts to the right, and Vela's got a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. If he sorted his exits, I think he'll be up in P2 by now. But we'll now try and go for it on top. Surely on this occasion? Nope, not on this occasion, and he will be staying behind for another lap. Taylor staying P5, Stan staying P7. This train is being held up by Tom here. Tom could be at risk of dropping all the way down to P7 or P8 if he's don't find a bit of pace here. Especially with Moby 2 tenths back and looking at every opportunity possible. And we'll see if he cuts all the way to the right again. Not this time. Tom's defending into turn 1. Maybe we'll stay behind. He's going to slide to the right again. Oh, that's because he's going for the overtake. And Tom's got a 3-second for exceeding track limits on the exit. That is not good for the Williams driver. And Minty Moby, he gets past today, Tommy. But Tom's going to try and send it down the inside. And will now back out, but did lose a lot of time in the process. And now Taylor, will he be trying to get the move done on it today, Tommy? Not on this occasion, but Tom might drop back again here. Don't know what's happened. With 16 laps to go, it looks like it's all falling apart for the Williams driver. With Aston Martin, this is looking really good for the Constructors' Championship. The Aston Martin of Tilted Tom will just slide there on the exit. And Nathan enters the pit lane. Yeah, it has stopped raining, so that rain was only for a tiny portion. We'll go to the tyres. The other game's staying on the hard the entire time, and it's a crash with Vela. He's gone to the mediums. Vela still has a wing, so luckily no safety car this time for Nathan again. Otherwise, that would have been very, very bad luck. But Brian Hurren is P1 by 8 seconds, but that's going to shit. Nathan's going to look to get the undercut done, and DRS is enabled, so we'll see a lot of drivers enter the pit lane on this lap. Will Ryan Hurren enter the pit lane? Will he be one of those drivers? He is going to enter the pit lane, the Sauber driver. And Crossroad gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings there. So Ryan in the pits, Moby in the pits, Tom in the pits, Taylor in the pits, Tom in the pits, Cross in the pits, Stan in the pits, Jeffrey cuts across into the pits. Nathan will obviously stay out, and it's another safety car. That's why everyone's in the pits. And Nathan must be one of the luckiest people I know. That's because the Vela's crashed and caused the safety car. And that is so unlucky for Nathan, and he's only going to come out P3 here. He's going to lose his position to Moby. But Brian Hurren is leading the way. Nathan and Jeppy Nasty, the only people on the medium tyres. They don't have to hope they go to the end of the race. And with Nathan's tyre wear, I know it, it's not very good. So he's taking a huge risk here. A huge risk. Moby only had good pace in the wet, which makes me think he picked a wet setup. And so we'll not have that good pace in this session. In this dry period. We're going to have around 13 laps of racing left. 1/3 left of the race when we do go green flag running. This car will be in probably next lap. We have 12 laps to go. And now my headphones are short. Oh, there we go, we're back now. Let's go. So we're just going to wait for something to happen. And the safety car will be out for one more lap. Miller was in the pits again to go onto a new set of hard tyres. Is it time? Okie dokie. So, positions stay like this. Ryan Hurren will win the championship. That would be a great position for Aston Martin to finish in right now. P3 and P6 right now. That's 15 and 8 points. That's 23 points for Aston Martin. Plus whatever they got in the sprint. They could move from last position in the standings, the constructors' standings. But we're going to have 11 laps, 12 laps of racing. And Taylor needs everything to go his way right now. He's currently P3 with penalties. Ryan Hurren is leading the way. His championship rival on a safety car restart. Moby's in second. Not the ideal person you want in second to be able to pressure Ryan. And this is why, because Ryan's already going to have gained almost a second, and Moby's got another 3 second time putting the exit in the corner. So Nathan needs to get past him as soon as possible. So Ryan's pulling a gap. Moby's second. Nathan third. Tom could be looking to go for it here on Nathan Den Hartog into 10. Flurry. Will he go for it? No, he's going to stay behind. But he's dropping back from the Haas driver. Don't forget DRS will be enabled the next time we go around. I can take away the tyres now. So, Reinhardt leading the way, G-Force and Crossfog battling at the back. G-Force in the white Red Bull livery. Nathan and Crossfog gets overtaken by Earn the Game as well as G-Force. And that's a spin for Jeffrey Nasty, and Jeffrey Nasty has dropped down to 11th position. And Stan and Tomo are battling again, and Stan's gone off the circuit. Not time to see Stan off the circuit. I'm surprised he doesn't have a penalty. But there is DRS now for Moby to try and stay with Brian Hurren. He's going to have it open. So is everyone else and own the game. He's going to get past G-Force. Bailey gets another 3-second time penalty on the final corner this time. Brian Horan 2/10 back. It's behind the Sauber driver. Frog gets ahead of the Ferrari. Bailey's crashed at turn 1. And is reset to track again. We'll read the rules. So right Horan, 6 tenths is the gap, it's going down. And with DRS being a thing, it's good. Jeffrey Nasty spins again. At least he didn't reset to track. Tom with the fastest lap. Don't really mean anything because you don't get a point, just means it's fastest car on circuit. G-Force, 3-second time penalty. Nathan stays behind Moby for at least another corner. Got a great exit. Moby's just using everything. Trying to stay with Ryan here. Tomo 3/10 behind Taylor. Taylor's not got the pace at Austria it seems, and it's not good. Currently as it stands, Ryan Horan is the championship winner. As Baylor retires in the pits and 11 people are going around. Mercedes 13-14. So Tomo gets a 3-second time penalty now for 3-second for multiple warnings. Then Hartog going to be looking sooner rather than later about this overtake. If Moby has run out of his ERS. Taylor's been overtaken. Oh my god, Will. Has been overtaken by Tomo. Nathan gets past Moby and Moby's off the track. That's why Tom also gets past. So Nathan has been freed from the Haas driver and will now be looking to push on. Taylor down the inside of the Aston Martin. He's going to stay around the outside into the next corner. Cannot stay around the outside. Will now be at risk to stand behind. Eight laps to go. Own the game gets a 3-second time penalty now. What's going to help Stan and Taylor here is the 3 seconds. I say that, and then Taylor gets a 3-second instantly. Stan could go all the way onto the podium places here from P7. How the penalties are. Moby will not be happy with himself with making that mistake. We'll be looking to get the move redone. Right, is pulling away. Jeffrey Nasty's got yellow lights, spinning again. Then it's just a massive train for P2. Ryan is pulling the gap he needs. Stan is 3/10 back from Taylor, but because everyone else in front of him has DRS, he's not going to be able to gain as much. Lap 30 or 36 now. 6 more laps of racing. Tom is 4/10 on the Aston Martin of Nathan. We can have a look at penalties, see what they are saying. So it's 3 seconds for Tom, 6 seconds for Minton Moby, 3 seconds for Tom, 3 seconds for Taylor, 3 seconds for Own the Game, 6 seconds for Crossroad, 3 seconds for G-Force. So there's no penalties for Jeffrey Nasty, Stan, Nathan and O'Brien. 4 drivers only without penalties. Nathan's just got one, so 3 drivers now without penalties. And Nathan has got a 3-second time penalty now, which is not good. And Ryan's eyes have just lit up there, unless he's on 2 warnings, and then he will be squeaky bum time for him. I'm just going to use the DRS and try and get back onto the podium places. The gap's just staying at around 2.5 seconds now for P1. Don't forget Nathan is on the medium tyres, so if they wear too much, you could be at risk of a puncture. Moby 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings, another one. So anything that's letting him down here. And Tom is only 2/10 behind the Aston Martin, but doesn't want to go for the position. Even though they both have penalties now. 3/10 is the gap. This is the opportunity for the Williams driver, and he's going to go down the inside of Nathan Hartog. Cannot get the move done, but will try to stick around outside. No, he won't. And Nathan stays in P2. Tom staying in P3. Tom is staying very, very close to Nathan Hartog. He got gone for it there, but he didn't want to. He wants to get the better exit, which he does. Better exit and Nathan Hartog, and will use the DRS and swing by the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin will stay behind and get the DRS. Moby is also going to look for a position here. Stan is starting to drop back. So him not having a penalty, he needs to stay with him to be able to gain it, gain off it. Tom up into P2. With his Dutch companion. Nathan Hartog. Moby gets another 3-second. Looks going off the track him. Taylor also went off the track there. Would have gave him a warning. 3 more laps in Austria. Taylor gets another 3-second time penalty. So his championship is basically over on Ryan Hurren. We can call him the championship winner at this stage, I think. But anything can happen. Ryan could crash. And Moby has been hit on the exit. Nathan up into P2, Tom P3, and Tilted Thomas into P4. So Nathan P2, Tommy P3, into Moby P4, Tomo P5, and Taylor's now going to look for it around the outside of the Aston Martin. Going to be to the inside of the Haas. Almost spins, nice catch, but doesn't gain any positions. Now 2 more laps of racing onto lap 35 and 36. Time's running out for multiple drivers here to make the moves they need to in this race. Ryan Hurren gets a 3-second time penalty. So the only people now not to have time penalties is Jeffrey Nasty, who's in last, and Stan, who's P7. Stan could gain massively off this if he had a bit of pace. But Tom gets back past and up into P2, ahead of the Aston Martin driver. 1.5 laps left of racing. Nathan's going to go back down the inside. Tom's just lets that happen easily, unless he went for the switchback, which he didn't. It's an easy overtake for Nathan. So we're now heading into the final 2 corners. The penultimate time. And on to the final lap of the race, where Ryan Hurren could be his victory lap. Not just for the race, but for his championship. Tom gets a terrible exit. We use all of his DRS, Nathan's just harvested. And Tom will stay behind for the next straight. And he'll close, and we'll try and go for it. Around the outside into turn 4. On Nathan Den Hartog. Nathan ain't going to let this one go easily. He's going to try and stay around the outside into turn 5. Tom backs out, and this helps Tomo. And it's both Tom and Tomo span. And Moby's up into 3rd. Tommy's P4. Taylor's up into 5th, and Tomo's down 6th. And Stan now gets past Tomo. So Tom stands up into 6th, but around the final corner to win the Season 4 World Championship and win the Austrian Grand Prix is Ryan Hurren. 2nd, Nathan Den Hartog. 3rd, Minted Moby. 4th, and at 3rd, right, we'll go through this again. 3rd, Stan. Stan got 3rd in the end after all the carnage that happened on the last lap. He beat his Williams teammate. Tom in 4th, Taylor 5th. Good fight till now, and he'll be fighting to close that gap, so it doesn't look like an 100-point gap at the end of the season. Tomo P6, Minted Moby P7, P8 for Own the Game, P9 for Crossroad, P10 for GeForce, and P11 for Jeffrey Nasty. And he's the only one who is classified not to finish in the points. Race winner Ryan Hurren. Fastest lap for today, Tommy. Driver of the day was Nathan Den Hartog, and he also got the most overtakes and cleanest driver for Stan. But Ryan wins the weekend, wins the race, and wins the championship. And he's done it with 4 rounds to spare. Taylor's given him a fight up until this point, but I mean, yeah, don't know what to say. But Ryan Hurren is your Season 4 champion. Next time out, we will head to Mexico for another sprint race before we head to Canada, then Saudi Arabia, then Abu Dhabi to end the season. I will be here next week, so I guess I'll see you for that one. Bye for